Hello friends, Daniel Cookier here. I'm going to teach you now how to create your first chatbot using Google Cloud Platform. So this chatbot was created with others Google developer experts in the last summit that we have in Krakow. So the other developers that helped me with this chatbot were Shay Ehrlichman from Israel, the Jerome Mouton from Germany, and also other two Brazilians, Aline Oliveira and Fernando Ultramare. So I'm going to show you how simple it is to create your first chatbot. So let me just tell you something about how our chatbot works. So our chatbot is very simple. It is a chatbot that knows how Pokémons battle between each other. So I'm going to show you one example. So I'm going to ask our GCP chatbot, which is already deployed in Google Cloud. I'm using Twitter to ask this chatbot who wins in a battle between Pikachu and let's see, Graveler. Okay, let's see what the chatbot responds to me. It takes some seconds to respond. Let me click in the chatbot, and then here it is, the response. So it is responding to me. So who is the winner between Graveler and Pikachu? And the chatbot responds, Pikachu used Grass Knot, Graveler was hit for 251 HP, and Pikachu defeated Graveler. So it shows me the whole battle between these two Pokémons. So let's see how we did it. And it is very easy. First of all, you need to create an account in the API.AI website. So you also need to have a Google Cloud account. So you also need to create your account for Google Cloud. And then you click on sign up for free here in API.AI. And then you will create your first agent. And here you click on create new agent inside the API.AI console. And then you give a name to your agent. You can write wherever you want, and then you choose the language. The chatbot can speak many languages like Spanish, French, Italian, Japanese, Chinese, and also Portuguese. Okay, so I'm going to click on the chatbot that I already have here, and then you create on entities. The entities are there are some entities that already exist in and automatically created for you, and you will create your custom entity. In our case, it's a Pokémon entity. So you create this entity by uploading a list of all the Pokémon's name. I already did this, so you click on this button and then upload entity, and then you have a CSV file with a list of all the Pokémon's names. And here, when I click my Pokémon entity, I will see all the Pokémons are already loaded here. If you want to write by hand and create a new Pokémon, it's very easy. You just add a new one here. You click add role and you can create a new Pokémon. Let's see that there's a Pokémon named Daniel, so now there's a Pokémon named Daniel. Okay, very easy. Okay, this is the first thing you need to do, create your entity. Okay, then the second thing, you create intents. The intents are phrases that your chatbot will understand in natural language. So there are some already default intents created here. And then I already created these specific intents that understand battles between Pokemon. So you create the intent here, and then you give examples of phrases, different ways of asking the same questions. You don't need to to ask all the possibilities. Of course, you just need to create 4 or 5, maybe half dozen of different ways to ask these questions. And then, so for example, let's create a new one. Who is the winner in a battle between Pikachu and Onyx? And then when you create the text, you double click the entities that need to be linked to parameters. So for example, the first Pokemon, Pikachu, I will connect to parameters. So basically, when your list of parameters is down here, so we will have 2 parameters in our chatbot, Pokemon 1 and Pokemon 2. So when I click here, I will link this first Pokemon to parameter 1, and then the second Pokemon name to parameter 2. And then that's it. You created 2 parameters, because in our case the chatbot has 2 parameters. And then you also can have a response which is not when the chatbot doesn't recognize the phrase. You can have a custom phrase to respond. And then you also, I will show you later, that you need to link this because we are going to call the Pokémon API to with these 2 parameters to respond who is the winner between the 2 Pokémons. So basically, this part of the system is recognizing the natural language, asking questions, and map this to the parameters in the Pokémon API. So you need to click the Use Webhook here and use Webhook for slot filling. You check these 2 slots here. And then you can try, you can test if your intent is working. So let's try. So battle, I'm going to ask in a different way. Let's see what happens. Battle between Pikachu and Rattata. Who wins? So you see, I don't have this phrase here exactly this way. Let's see. And then I'm testing, and then you see that our chatbot worked correctly. So this is the response that comes from our API that I'm going to show you later how to link with this API. And then the mapping between the mapping of the 2 parameters, so Pokemon 1, Pikachu, Pokemon 2, Rattata. Okay, so let's move to the integration part of our Pokemon. So first of all, you need to create, you will click on fulfillment, and then here you will put the address of the API that will receive a request from your chatbot. So everything that I ask here is going to this endpoint here that is already deployed. I'm going to show you how to deploy cloud functions in this particular endpoint, and this part of the system I'm going to show you in a minute. Okay, so you just put the API endpoint here and save and click enable, and that's it. Simple. And this is everything that you need to do here in API.AI. So it's done, this part of the system. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to create the other part of the system, which is your API that calls the Pokémon.ai, the Pokémon API. Okay, so you also need to have an account in Google Cloud Platform, and you will have to create a Firebase project. So you go to console.firebase.google.com and click on Add Project. We already have our own project here, which is called GCP Chatbot. Okay, and then you go, and that's it. So you just take this name, the name of your project, that you need this later when you deploy your application to the chatbot. So we have this, all the code that I'm showing you here is open source, so you can go to github.com in my account /DannyCookie/GCP chatbot, and you have all this code and instructions also here for you to follow. Okay, so now I'm here with the code of our API, and I'm showing you here. It's really simple. Basically, the API.AI will call this function, and the request of this function will send a JSON with two parameters, parameter Pokémon 1 and parameter Pokémon 2. So, and this is the way, let me just show you in the function call log the whole JSON that API.AI sends to your Cloud Functions. Here it is. So it sends a lot of different things. It sends the full query, and then here are the parameters that you are extracting from the request. Pokémon 1 and Pokémon 2. So going back to the code, so basically I call the Pokémon API with Pokémon 1 name, endpoint, and then Pokémon 2 endpoint. And then this Pokémon, let's call here, so for example, just show you, for example, what this will return. So Pikachu, and this will return the full description of Pikachu and all the abilities and everything that you need to have to create a battle between this Pokemon and the other Pokemon. Okay, so the result of these two, so response 1 and response 2 here are, and then you have data ID, so the ID of the first Pokemon, and then the ID of the second Pokemon, and then you have this battle. So this is, there is this code that we created to basically call the API, the battle API between two Pokemon. So you can take a look inside our code to see how to call, so the Pokemon coffee and the battle coffee, that has all the code available to send to create a battle between two Pokemons. Okay, and then that's it. When you have this battle results between two Pokemons, and also the battle method returns the winner and the battle results. So you return the battle results as a speech, and also you get from the winner data, you also have, in our case, we return a URL for the image of the winner Pokemon, and that's it. And then you have this code. You can download our code, and then you go to GCP Chatbot, and then what you will need to do, so you go to the functions directory, and then of course you need to run npm install. So basically you also need to install Node.js in your system, so the npm package manager and the CoffeeScript. So you then, when you have npm package manager, you just execute npm install to install all the dependencies of this project. I already had everything installed, and then you run npm -g install Firebase tools. So you need to install all the Firebase tools. It will take a little bit of time to install all these libraries, database, I'm going to open, while it is installing, I'm going to enter the functions again, and also I need to compile, so the coffee script, compile Pokémon battle, okay, and the last command is to deploy this function. So basically you Firebase deploy, here it is, Firebase deploy dash dash only functions, that dash dash project, and then your project name, in our case is GCP Chatbot. So this command will deploy all the functions that you already have here in your directory inside the Firebase. So, and then here I have the functions, dashboard. There are two endpoints here and the logs. Okay, so it's still deploying, but I already had it deployed, so it won't change anything. And the last thing that you need to do here, so basically you have a log here, everything that you ask in our code, as you remembered, I logged some things here, that's why it's appearing there in the logs. So it's logging the two Pokemon's name and also the full request body, and then it's responding. So basically when you call anything, the function will be executed and will respond to API.AI. And the last thing you need to do, so basically the chatbot is working and is ready, and you don't need to use Twitter to test it. Basically you just need to write here your phrase, or you can also try to record, and the speech recognition API will run and transform your voice into text, and then your text to will run in and call the other APIs. So, but I'm going to show you how to link between this application and Twitter. So basically you need to have Twitter. Okay, so you log into your Twitter account, and then you go to this address, apps.twitter.com, and then you have this, you have to create a new app here. So I have already created an app, and it's really easy. You just create an app, you put any name that you want, any description that you want, and okay, and any website or whatever. Okay, you click here to accept the terms, and then you create your own Twitter app. And then you need to copy the keys that are under these tabs. You have 4 keys. You have one key here, the second key here, and then you need to create an access token. And then you have the 3rd key here and the 4th key here. Okay, so you go to the API.AI, and then you click on integrations, and then you click on Twitter. Okay, and down here you have all the 4 fields that you need. Mine is already enabled, but you have to enable it and then put copy and paste the 4 keys that are under your Twitter app, and that's it. When you do that, your Twitter is already linked. So let's review everything that we did, because it was really easy to create, and the chatbot is ready. You can test it using Twitter, or also you can try it here from the command line. You can also speak, and the speech recognition API will translate your voice to text, and then we'll call the API. So you can call in different ways this chatbot. So basically you create an account here in API.AI, and then you go here and you create your new agent, and then inside your agent you have the entity. So we created the Pokémon entity. You can create an entity from scratch, or you can upload a CSV file. And then after you create your entity, you create your first intent. And inside your intent, you will write all the phrases that you need you need your chatbot to understand, and you map the parameters in the phrases to parameters, and then you check the fulfillment to use Webhook outside the API.AI platform, and then you click on fulfillment and then put your function or your API endpoint here. In our case, we deployed you don't need to use Cloud Functions for that. You can use any technology that you want to integrate with the API.AI. In our case, we use Cloud Functions inside Firebase. So here is the endpoint that we already had our code deployed that understand the request from this API.AI and responds with a specific format. So the format that this API responds is understand by API.AI. So basically we need to respond with two parameters, two response in our JSON. The speech, actually one, so the speech, which is what this API needs to respond to the user. So basically one JSON with the speech response, in our case using the Pokémon API, and then your chatbot is ready. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, if you want to comment these and to add other instructions, feel free to ask me anything that you want. You can download this chatbot from our GitHub account, and there are all the instructions to install in your machine. And thanks for watching. Bye bye.